Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Intimacy Insights by Anais. So, for the past more than 9 months, I stopped talking about relationships and I stopped posting. Not because I ran out of advices or what to post, but because life happened to me in a very positive way. I moved from Nigeria to Canada and I'm trying to settle in. While at it, I started noticing some things that are very uncomfortable in relationships that I would like to talk about, even in my own life. Many people don't realize that they are not actually heartbroken because someone left them. Mm-mm. They are heartbroken because the picture perfect relationship that they imagined in their mind that they think they are in with their partner never really existed. I don't know if you understood the point I said. And when I understood this, I began to see why so many people keep dating different people and they are still living the same relationship for another. And it keeps on happening and happening over and over again. There are five things I want us to discuss today, and one of it is why people repeat heartbreak. We're just going to talk about heartbreak today. So please get your drink, sit, and listen. The most interesting thing in all these things is that most people think that they are unlucky in love. But that's a no. After stepping away, like I observed people, I observed conversations, I watched message patterns, and even from my own experience here, I realized that a lot of people are, will I say, a lot of people are not choosing partners. That's the truth. They are just choosing, how will I put it now? They are choosing feelings. A lot of people are not choosing partners, they are choosing feelings. They are choosing familiarity. And you know what they say? Familiarity breeds contempt. I don't know if I'm right. If someone grows up not being emotionally seen, not being reassured, not feeling secured, they don't look for healthy love as an adult. Yes, that's the truth. They look for a very, very unhealthy love. And when they get in there, they will start shouting heartbreak. They look for emotional intensity. And without emotional intensity, they feel the relationship is not working. And you know that emotional intensity is not the same as emotional safety. They can never be the same. This is why someone can treat you well today, someone can communicate clearly with you, someone can respect you to the very core, and you still feel nothing about them. But you see that person who confuses you, that person who disappears and reappears anytime that they want, that person who gives you mixed feelings, who snubs you and answers you when they want, that is the person your heart is suddenly fully invested in. And it is not love, it is just your emotional recognition. Your nervous system, sorry, we are going to the scientific way, but it works here too. Your nervous system now recognizes chaos faster than it recognizes peace in your life. The second thing we'll talk about today is attention versus affection. I know some of you don't know the difference, but this is another thing that I noticed while I was away. Many people are not in love with a person. Mm-mm. They are in love with how that person made them feel, like how that person made them feel about themselves. Let me give an instance. For example, say someone calls you every morning, the same person texts you every morning, calls you late at night, calls you early in the morning, checks up on you constantly. Do you know that it doesn't mean that they love you? Mm-mm. Sometimes it may mean, but not all the time. Sometimes it just means that they enjoy the access they get to you. They enjoy the fact that once they pick their phone and call you, you respond. Because real affection is consistent. They don't just disappear and reappear when they want. Attention is emotional excitement. They're just excited that they have the access to you. While affection is emotional stability. And many people unknowingly choose attention over affection. Then later they start complaining about the instability, which is the affection. The third thing we'll talk about is the dating potential. This one might hurt some of you a little, but I need you to listen. A lot of heartbreak doesn't come from what the person did to you as a person. It actually comes from what we hoped that they would become. We start falling in love with who we imagined they can be for us, with the potentials. We see small signs of kindness and we start to build a future immediately around the person in our mind. We'll be like, oh, this is the last bus stop, this is the last person. You're not going to any other relationship. You start loving who you imagine they could be if they heal, who you imagine they could be if they change, if they grow, if they finally start to understand you. But I need you to know that relationships are not built on potentials. Mm-mm. Relationships are built on patterns and not potentials. If someone shows you inconsistency, if someone shows you inconsistency repeatedly, time and time again, that is not confusion. Believe me, that is their emotional availability level. And there's nothing you can do for it. That's the extent they can go. They can't go far beyond that. And when we ignore this pattern, we later call it heartbreak, that this person has broken your heart. But it's you that caused it. You saw the patterns and you ignored it. The third thing we're going to talk about is why nice love feels boring sometimes. Here is something people rarely admit. You know, it's quite funny, but it's true. When you're watching me, I know you won't even agree to this. Some people say that they want peace in relationships, but when they eventually find peace, will they be able to take it in? Because when they find that very peaceful person, they will suddenly start losing interest in that person. They will see the relationship as very boring. Why does this happen? Because peace feels unfamiliar to them now. If your past relationship, for instance, were full of emotional roller coasters, there were fights up and down, quarrels here and there, calmness will eventually feel like the absence of feeling for you. You are not bored with the person per se. You're just bored because you don't get to see those skills again. You're bored because there's no longer expectation of anxiety. You lack anxiety now. Your mind has learned to interpret emotional tension as connection with the person. So when someone gives you that stability, that peace you're looking for, your brain begins to say things like, something is missing in this relationship. But believe me, nothing is missing in that relationship. It is your nervous system again that is just detoxing from the chaos that you was used to from your previous relationship. And that's why it's advisable that if someone comes out from a traumatic relationship, they should go see a therapist. Then the next thing we'll talk about is the real reason moving on is hard for so many people. Believe me, this is very hard for some people. People think that they miss their ex. Sometimes they don't actually miss the person, believe me. That's the truth. You just miss the emotional version of yourself that is instead around that particular person. The hopes, the expectation, the anticipation, the possibility that maybe this time it will work out for me, or maybe this time it will end up in a marriage or whatever. You're not grieving only a person. I hope you know that you are grieving a future you already emotionally invested yourself in. And that is why letting go sometimes feel heavier for some people than it should logically. So taking this break made me realize something very, very simple, but very deep as well. Many relationships, will I say, don't end because people don't love themselves. No, it actually ends because one is available for emotional responsibility, while the other is just there for the emotional experience. And when these two people meet, their love is actually very powerful at first, but along the line, everybody deviates. So thank you for watching Intimacy Inside by Anna. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.